All right, if you haven't seen Tiger King yet, I don't know what you're doing. You got to get on it. It's so addicting. This crazy cast of characters. So excited because we are joined now by one of Joe Exotic's former employees, Kelci Saff Saffery. Saff, what's going on? How are you?
I've been well. I've been very well. I want to thank you guys for having me.
Of course. I mean, everyone's talking about this show. We're also in self-isolation, but it makes it even more popular. How has your life changed since this show has aired?
It's been a little bit more chaotic for me because I can't go anywhere without, people coming up to me. So that's been different for sure. Other than that, it's the same grind, I'm just the same as everyone else. The kids are home. I'm home. We're all stuck in one place. So it's kind of crazy.
Well, you truly are one of the most likable people on this show. You have a lot of redeeming qualities. So everyone loved watching you. You became this fan favorite, and you went through this traumatic incident where your arm was ripped off by a big cat. Can you take us back to that day and what you experienced?
Yeah, definitely. It was just a regular tour day, a Saturday, in October of 2013. And I was just doing my regular chores like we always do every morning. And I think that played into the mistake that I made. I got complacent. I was moving the tiger from from the shift pen to its main enclosure. And instead of, using all the tools provided, I just went ahead and reached in to swing that door open. And he just decided to take my hand with him. So.
Wow. Do you remember it? Did you kind of black out, or was it really painful, or was it all kind of a blur?
No, I remember every second of it. And it honestly took maybe 15 seconds from the second he bit me to the second he let me go, maybe 15 seconds. So I remember every single bit of it. And it didn't start hurting, honestly, until I think when I got into the ambulance, when everything kind of settled down and I was by myself in the back of the ambulance. I was like, this is major, so.
I couldn't believe it when I found out that you got your arm amputated and then you were back on the premises in 5 days.
Yeah, I was. It was actually 7 days in total from the time that the incident happened. So 2 days later, I got my hand amputated, and 5 days after that, I was back on park.
I mean, I honestly still can't believe it. What was it that really pushed you to get back there? Because a lot of people would be probably so scared to ever be near a tiger again.
Yeah, my honest thought process was the longer I sit in that hospital, the bigger the story was going to be. And I know the devastation that can do to the park and ultimately to the animals, since the park is their home. So it was just damage control. Get back to park and squash it all, or deal with it myself, really.
Well, you're very brave. So I think a lot of people were inspired by that. There are a lot of interesting people on this show. Obviously, Joe Exotic is just kind of out there. How do you think he was portrayed on the show? Was that accurate? Is that how you saw him?
Oh, yes. Yeah, 100%. Everyone, was exactly the way that they are in real life, and I've worked with these people personally. So, yes, I think that everyone was showed in their very own special light.
Yeah, and it seemed like you really liked working with animals and working on the zoo. How did you feel the producers did when it came to portraying the reality of the zoo in the story?
I honestly don't think that they portrayed much of actually working with the animals in the docu-series. I know they focused a lot on Joe and Joe's issues, and of course all the other four front runners in this industry, which are just all the other owners of any other sanctuary that were in the docu-series. So I don't think there was a lot from our zoo that showed the handlers' interactions with the animals, maybe a snapshot here and there. I wish they would have showed more of what we do on a daily basis.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to video message number 113.
Was there a scene that you really liked when you watched the show back? Like your favorite scene?
I think, and it's going to sound a little weird, but I think the interaction where, Joe was drugged by that cat.
Ow, son of a...
And not for any other reason, but because it definitely showed the power, the power of these cats, and the unpredictability of them, and it kind of highlights when I say you can't get complacent, these are still wild, exotic, dangerous animals.
Get out of here, you...
So I definitely, I didn't enjoy watching it. I just, I think that it highlighted something that I know at heart, and I'm glad now the public knows.
I would say that you're definitely a positive light in this story because, you know, there's a lot of stuff that is humorous and you watch it and you're like, I can't believe this happens. These people, like, there's so many twists and turns, but there's also kind of a darker side where you are really concerned about the animals and there's allegations of abuse. I mean, from your experience, how are the animals treated at the zoo when Joe was there?
You know, when Joe was there or when Joe was not there, the handlers were the ones directly in contact with every animal. So I know there wasn't any abuse going on, you know, not on our part. But it's a relevant term, you know. Anyone can say it's abuse if it's not what they agree with. If they believe the cage is too small, then it's animal abuse, you know. So I think it's everyone's opinion. It's a hard industry to be in because it's kind of looked down on, or it's just completely, you know, ignored. And that's why I'm very glad that there is awareness brought to it. But there were animals that were, you know, put down because they were old or hurt or suffering. And again, that's all Joe's call, you know. It wasn't a call that I was able to make. So it was really, you stand by and just watch.
So you actually did witness tiger killings?
I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, I mean, did it seem for you, look, I grew up on a farm, so I do understand sometimes animals do have to be put down. Did you ever witness tigers being killed for reasons that seemed unjust?
I didn't, no. And I must speak out and say that I wasn't there, you know, for the last 5. So what he's being investigated on, I wasn't even on part for that. But if it is, you know, the tigers that they're naming, especially Eric is the one who named these tigers, then there was absolutely no reason to put them down.
Okay. Yeah, let's go back a little bit. But when you first joined working at the zoo, what got you involved and what was maybe your favorite part about working with the animals?
Oh, every single second of it. You know, I've always loved tigers, always had a passion for them. And then I've always loved the animals. I would sneak animals into my house some way, shape, or form as a kid all the time. So it was just that. It was just the experience of being able to work with these amazing animals every single day. They have a selfless love about them that you won't find, in my personal opinion, anywhere else.
Yeah, and why did you eventually decide to leave the zoo?
You know, every single time I was there, every second I spent there, I put everything that I could, you know, blood, sweat, tears, a left hand into just whatever I could do for the animals, to be their ambassador, to educate people, you know, to help them progress. And once I seen that diminish at that park, I just didn't feel the need to be a part of it anymore. So that's why I left.
So overall, were you happy that this came out, or were you kind of wishing that maybe none of it would have come out and showed everything?
No, I think that I'm happy that there's more awareness. So for a broad opinion, I'm very happy with it. I think that anytime you can draw awareness to this, or even just a little bit of education to this, it's better for everyone involved. But no, I didn't want to participate in the documentary to begin with. I actually declined a few times, but they said, you know, the story is going to be told with or without you, and you have a hell of a story, so I think you should tell it yourself. I agreed.
Seems like Joe's probably loving the attention that he's getting.
Oh, I can promise you 100%.
How often did you hear about Carole Baskin when you were working at the zoo?
Oh, every day, on a daily basis, almost every, you know, hour or so. You know, it rings true what they're kind of portraying in the documentary. Everything was her fault. Everything, every issue, everything that came up, everything that we had to face that didn't work out in our favor, it was definitely her fault.
Was it? So you're saying it truly was her fault? It wasn't Joe exaggerating it? Okay.
No, it was Joe saying that. But, you know,
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Everything that came up. I mean, if it rained that day and the tours were, you know, half the amount of people, it was her fault. I mean, that's just his attitude towards her. She was just at the top of his head every day, all day.
If this thing becomes a movie or a TV series, which there's a lot of rumblings about, who would you like to be played by? Because right now, a lot of celebrities, they want to be a part of this.
Right, right. You know, honestly, in my honest opinion, and I've been thinking about this for a minute, but the first one willing to cut off their left hand, I think they got the heart for it.
Yeah. If they'll do that, then they can play it. And then last question, what's next for you? Any future plans or goals that you have coming up?
Yeah, right now I'm enjoying life. I'm trying to slow down and take it easy a little bit. I don't know. Anything's possible.
All right. Well, Saff, thank you so much.
Yeah. No, it was a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.